trying to defund Planned Parenthood, some women who have used its services are taking to Twitter to talk about their positive experience with abortion.
Their positive experiences with the procedure of abortion?
Now they're using the hashtag shout your abortion, excuse me, and this all started with Lindy West. Here's her tweet that she put out. She said, "My abortion was in 2010 and the career I've built since then fulfills me and makes me better able to care for kids I have now."
Notice the me theme in that tweet.
And basically what these women are trying to do,
Some of them. That's the thing with Twitter, you know, everybody can use a hashtag.
And basically what these women are trying to do who are using this hashtag is spread the information about their positive experience with abortion and not have it be so stigmatized.
I think stigmatization is wrong. But is this really what it's about?
Another tweet says, 18 and broke plus pregnant equals bad. Abortion plus 3 years later plus married and stable job equals great life for my baby.
That's rather simplistic. 18 and broke plus pregnant plus abortion equals no life for my baby. But again, that's Twitter for you.
Another one says, had an abortion procedure done at age 22 because I was way too young to parent. Have never, ever regretted it.
You grow with the tasks ahead of you, believe me. But I guess that Mary O'Hara is one of them fun-loving millennials who don't like no responsibilities.
Obviously, as you can imagine, there has been some pushback to this hashtag.
From who?
I don't know, the Bishop of Rome maybe? Talking about him, I stumbled across this hilarious clip on Fox News. That's such heroic montage music, straight from the 80s. I need to watch that again.
Well, we've seen it in the nation's capital, and now New York City welcomes Pope Francis. The Pope Mobile driving down Fifth Avenue there on his way to St. Patrick's Cathedral for a Vespers service this evening. As you can see, the throngs of people on either side of the street as the Pope waves, and you can see Cardinal Dolan there in the back.
Cardinal Dolan! Seriously? In the back? Is this real? It is. Way to go, Catholic Church.
I went to the Lafay Commission, and you had 7 barristers there questioning me and telling me I was telling lies when I told them that I got raped of a Saturday, got a merciful beating after it, and then he came along the following morning and put Holy Communion in my mouth.
Go a bit, please.
With some saying, I'm not naive, I understand abortion. What I don't understand is why you'd hashtag shout your abortion. What are you bragging about? Hashtag barbaric.
I agree.
Wow, hashtag shout your abortion is a trending hashtag. This is how low the morals of this country have dropped. People are proud of this. So sad. And so I think this one gets on kind of an interesting point because I don't think these women are necessarily proud of their abortion, but they're just talking about it in a way that isn't so shamed.
I understand that everything shaming is a bit of a thing in the US, and I don't think people should be ashamed of having had an abortion. I do think, however, that both the women and men involved in that decision should act responsibly. It's important to talk about it, but it's childish and irresponsibly egocentric if you talk about it as if your abortion was of no consequence for anybody but yourself.
Yeah, I don't think they're proud of the abortion. I think they're proud of the decision that they made and the outcome of it.
Tell me how that's different.
Right.
They're proud of the life that they put together since then that they believe, and seems in many cases to be objectively true, allows for a healthier child to grow up and then to have a better life.
Okay, I get that. But they would have been able to achieve all that if they hadn't gotten pregnant in the first place too. They still choose to hashtag shout their abortion.
I believe that creating the best life outcome for a person is important and worth putting off for.
Yeah, that's my thought process. Is like, if you don't think you're going to be a good parent and you don't want to have kids, what kind of life are you bringing your kids into?
At least a life.
You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Well,
That
especially if
makes
you're
no
young
sense.
and you don't have the resources.
You don't have resources. You don't have
We know
the
how that
maturity level,
ends up.
and yeah, exactly.
As I have said earlier, you grow with the tasks that lie ahead of you. Of course, there are a lot of children born into situations that give them a huge disadvantage in life. But the important question is whether or not this justifies destroying a potential conscious human life. That is a difficult philosophical question, and naturally we are going to be in disagreement about it.
Yeah.
And so these women are saying, okay, you don't have to be shamed and bring kids up in, potentially a bad home. This is another option for you, and that you won't necessarily regret, and you won't necessarily feel bad about, and you'll feel like you made a good decision. So I think this is bringing a pretty good positive light to abortion and being open to talking about it, so that we open that communication and women feel more confident about making this decision.
I'm going to go into my personal opinion on abortion a bit later. Right now, I'll address the point you've made. I know that there is an effort by pro-life politicians and clerics to make having an abortion incredibly difficult. As far as the question of whether taxpayers should bear the expenses is concerned, as far as the question of whether aborting a fetus that does not put the mother's life at jeopardy is concerned, I understand that there is a political debate. I still think it should be a legal right to abort your unborn child up to a certain point, because if it was made illegal, this is what would happen. Some states, like Mississippi, don't have any abortion clinics left, and you need to cross borders if you want to get one, which many people can't afford. So, of course, there is going to be online protest against it, and this hashtag is one of its manifestations. It's in the very nature of protest to have extreme voices on both sides. In this case, you have the no-compromise pro-life people on one side and pro-abortionists on the other. And in between, there are many pro-choice people like me. You need to have a constructive debate, and Shout Your Abortion is filled with fringe opinions that simply disregard the fact that we are talking about an unborn potential human being.
Again, I don't really think that it is about being proud.
Robin here begs to differ.
But even if it was about being proud, like, it's a right that is given to you.
And with rights come responsibilities. For example, the responsibility to cope with the idea that you did in fact destroy a potential conscious life because you have been acting irresponsibly in the first place. Of course, I'm not talking about victims of rape here.
What other rights are we like, well, I don't think you should be so proud that you exercise that. Like, okay, I'm gonna have free speech, I'm just not gonna let anybody hear it.
You are no social justice warriors then. That's good to know.
And I'm gonna start a newspaper, but nobody's ever gonna read it. And I can bear arms, but no one will ever see them.
I thought you were against concealed firearms.
Ever. Because I don't want to look proud.
Yeah, I mean, it's all ridiculous. And then the flip side of this is the people who are like, well, we thought about getting an abortion, we didn't, and now our kids are rock star. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, there's different aspects.
Well, yeah, and then that could be true.
Oh, thanks for brushing that off with one sentence.
Yeah, it could be true. And it could be true that this was the best life for this person who prioritized their, well-being and the well-being of their future child.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Which doesn't address the actual issue sensible people may have with abortion on philosophical grounds.
Or if they don't ever want to have a child, they also have that right.
Some of the tweets were about that. Some of the tweets were like, I just don't want kids. And so, why would you want somebody who doesn't want kids to have kids? That makes
Teach them a lesson.
zero sense to me.
Then you should try even harder not to get pregnant or not to get somebody else pregnant. Okay, now that we are done with the video, here's my take on the issue. I believe that it should be legal to have an abortion up to a certain point. However, the problem is that we are setting this point in an unborn child's development rather randomly. Most people will agree that it's fine to abort shortly after the moment of conception and that it's wrong to abort after 8.5 months. But in between is a gradual process of the unborn child's development. Is it a human being yet? Well, it's not a conscious creature in week 12, and that's how we choose to define a human being, so it's fine. Then, why is euthanasia wrong? What is the philosophical difference? And that is the essence of my argument against a laissez-faire approach to the topic. It isn't a black and white issue. An adult human being makes choices that are ambivalent at times. And an adult human being should act accordingly. I don't believe in treating adults like children and cuddling them. You've had an abortion? In my eyes, that's okay, and I don't think less of you because of it. Only if you talk about it like it's nothing but a cancer, that's when I think less of you. because we both know that you chose to prevent a life from coming into existence. A life that in our times most certainly would have been born healthy with no risk to the medical well-being of its mother. And you prevented that for selfish reasons. And all I expect you to do is to deal with that in an honest and adult way. All of us make choices that aren't completely morally sound and unselfish. Don't blame yourself for it or be ashamed of those choices, but accept the responsibility.
But I want to know from you guys what you think about this hashtag.
I'm the thoughtful contrarian. If you liked this video, feel free to give it a thumb up and subscribe. If you didn't, then that's okay too, I guess. And remember, get beyond the fringe.